Well, here it is, Wednesday of the following week, and last time I was here I was talking to you about some plumbing, and I saw that the plumbers were getting ready to do their plumbing, and I'll bet you that over the weekend that they've done some plumbing work, and I see this here. Yes, this is part of the plumbing, and let's see if he's got it on test yet. No, he's not. He doesn't have it on test yet, but see, he's got that all ready to pump up. See, it's just, there's just a little valve there, stem. Okay, and he'll pump that up when he's ready to call for a plumbing inspection. Okay, and so I know he's been here. Let's take a quick look here and see what he's got going on. Remember last time I was here, and if you weren't with me last time, you might want to go to How to Build a House, go to my main YouTube channel page, click on playlists, scroll down to How to Build a House, and you'll see what I was showing you on the plumbing prior to this. Okay, now so this video is going to be all about plumbing here. Okay, this is the top out plumbing. Because see, he's got everything coming out of the walls now. Okay, he's got here's his hot and cold water, and he's got his tea coming out. Remember before there was just a pipe coming up out of the wall there, and see, he's got a hose bib here, and he'll probably hook his hose up here, and he'll fill this up with water. Okay, all of his plumbing vent lines have to be filled up with water. Okay, and you see he's got, this is a cap, this is where his washing machine is going to go. He's got a cap there because this will all fill up with water. When he fills that up, it's going to fill this up, it's going to fill up his vent all the way up here. And see where his vent goes out. I'll show you here, and then that will have to come down this way and fill that up, and he'll have to make a determination how far underneath there he's going to fill all that up with water, because before, when he did his rough plumbing underneath the floor, he capped everything off in such a manner to where everything under the floor had already been tested. Now he's got to tie everything in. Now he's got to test everything again. Does that mean he has to fill up everything underneath the floor again? I'm not sure. Okay, but see, this is his vent, and he runs up here, comes along here, and then it goes up, and that ties in with his vent for the washer, where the washing machine is going to be. Here's his dryer location. He's got a gas pipe here capped off for that. And let's just follow his vent line, shall we? His vent line goes up here, it goes across, and it goes that direction. And see, it goes this way too. That's because he's got some other vents. And we'll walk back here. Let's take a quick look here before we follow those vents over. And we see he's got another pipe up there that vented over here. Here's another one that goes along over there, and I'm not sure where that one goes. See there? He knows, the plumber knows where that goes, but let's just follow this over. I'm getting ahead of myself here, aren't I? Okay, this is where he's got a toilet, and he's got his cold water line for the toilet, and then he's got that vented. Okay, comes up here. And then here he's got another vent here. I'm not quite sure what that one's for, because it just goes out from there. And then this one here is tied to here. Now see, this vent could be for okay, he's probably going to have a sink, another little small vanity cabinet right there. Hot and cold water line. He doesn't have those stubbed out yet, does he? So we know he's not ready for an inspection yet. And this vent here is probably for that over there. He's got that tied up there. See, this is a vent line, this is a vent line, and it goes up And this vent line here goes down to another sink. So he's got a utility sink here. Well, not a utility sink, but a vanity sink. Okay, hot and cold water here coming out. And see, we know he's not ready for an inspection yet, because he would put a cap over that, because he has to fill all that up with water still, right? Okay, and so that is tied up over in there. And then let's just see he's got this vent here, one there, one there, one there. There's three. Here's a fourth one coming up. And then if we follow those two vents out, we're going to see here's the one, and it ties in, and that one comes over, and those go across. Now he's let's remember how many was that? 4 vents? 4 vents. And then this one he's picking up, and that's attached to the washing machine and another vanity sink. That's six things tied in to that one vent. And that goes up out of the roof. Let's just follow this through, because I'm kind of curious now too. Okay, and that was over there, and it's going up. It's going up on the roof, and he'll have a roof jack up above right there. Okay, and that was 6, but now we see there's another. My word, there's another one going across over here. Okay, and then it comes down. It comes down right here. Look at that. There's another sink right there. That's 7 things all tied together to go out to one vent up on the roof. I wasn't quite sure how many they could go tied in, you know, and so that tells me at least 7. Good Lord. Okay, and see how he's got this bracket here. He just screwed it across, and then on this plastic piping, he's got some fittings. And that's something. How these fittings kind of wrap around, attach, and all so that he can attach it to these fittings right there. Okay, and whenever you got plumbing too close, you have to put some straps. Now here, he's just put some metal straps there. Okay, that's in case if they have any what I want to call it, when they install the sheetrock. Obviously, this one is really super close. This pipe is kind of close, and when they get ready to install the drywall, if they hit the metal, they'll know, okay, don't go through that, because you don't want to put a screw through the vent. You don't want to put it through a water line. And see, here's another nail-on strap here, because you don't want to put a screw right there, putting it into the drain. That's not a drain, that's the vent. And, you know, would it hurt if a drywall screw went in there and they didn't have that and it went into the vent? Probably not. But you see, by code, you're supposed to have something there. The inspector, when they call for inspection, the inspector will shoot you down if you don't have a strap on there. And see where he drilled his hole up there. It's kind of close to the outside of the wood, so that's why he's got that big strap up there. Okay. Now it looks like they've just cut these open. See here? Look, he says leave open for right now, but that tells me they forgot to put that in, didn't they? That is for your heating and air conditioning register down on the floor. And I noticed here's another one here that they just happened to cut that one in, and the air conditioning guy will have to come back. He'll have to tap those into all of his other air conditioning, because we know from before they have air conditioning registers all throughout this floor. Okay, they must have missed those, or maybe they weren't quite sure exactly how the floor is going to be laid out. And so they thought, well, we'll just kind of leave some ductwork under there, and we're not quite sure where that's going to be yet. And we'll just push it up into the location, because as I recall, they had a couple underneath the floor. Remember, before they installed the floor, they had the register hooked up and they had it capped off, and that's probably one for there, one for here, and all that. Okay, so we're still talking about the plumbing. Okay, so this is what you call the top out plumbing, where you have to have everything coming out. This is for your drain line for your sink, and there's a certain height that the plumbers always like to do that. I'm not quite sure what that is. I should have brought my tape measure, shouldn't I? Because the last thing you want to do, if you're going to do the plumbing yourself, and if you've never done plumbing before, do you think you could plumb an entire house? Yeah, you probably could, if you knew what type of fittings to get, how to attach these fittings, and how to do everything. The one thing you want to do is on your drains, you want to make sure you don't get your drain up too high. You don't want it down too low. You get it down too low, then your P-trap underneath the sink is sticking way down, and it makes it harder to stack things in underneath your sink and stuff like that. Okay, so the plumbers, he knows the right height to put things, and lots of times what you want to do, you want to make sure as you're facing your sink, and this will be a vanity sink. Vanity means there's going to be a cabinet here, countertop, your sink top, and they just call that a vanity. Okay, you always want to make sure your hot water line is on the left, your cold water line is on the right. You don't want to, if your plumbing comes up wrong or something, when you're doing your rough end, you always want to make sure you try to do things right. You don't want to say, it's too hard to get the hot water over here. I got all my cold water lines over here anyways. It'll be easier. I'm just going to put my cold over here and my hot over here. I'll remember it. I'll remember that. And then when you go to install your sink, the plumber might say, oh yeah, I have to crisscross those in underneath the cabinet, so that when I turn the cold water side on, I get cold water. When I turn the hot water side on, I get the hot water. And invariably, you get, if somebody does that, you get a possibility of somebody forgetting to do that. So then when you turn your water on, your hot side's cold and your cold side's hot. Is there a requirement? Does the inspector really care? Inspector doesn't care. All he's going to look at is this, to make sure it's strapped right, to make sure it's installed right, to make sure that the vent is going up right, make sure your straps are on there in case your nail-on straps to protect this from screws. Make sure it's strapped properly. So he's got one little strap in here, and I guess that's per code, just one strap. See, it's still kind of loose, and I would almost think you would want to strap this so that you don't get this bouncing around in the wall, let's say, and then all of a sudden you hear that. I would put another little funky plastic strap like that, wrap it around there, and put 2 screws on it and be done. But if it's not needed, chances are they're not going to do it. Now see, this one doesn't move because it's flexed. I can tell it's kind of at a slight angle, and that's putting pressure on here, and so it's really not making noise per se. Okay, but in any case, here you come into this room, and there's a toilet right here, and there'll be a sink over here. So see, we know that the hot and cold water lines still are in the wall, so they still have to come out. They're going to be stuck out right over here. And funny thing, where is the drain line for that? You got any ideas? I don't see any drain lines. So is there going to be a cabinet there in the corner? I'm thinking there's going to be. Maybe they forgot to do that. Should have this had been coming out? I think it should have. I think it should have came out pretty much like this one here. Okay, we'll have to check on that when they get all done with it, okay? All right, I've got more, so stick around. I gotta change the battery on the video camera. I'll be right back to show you more top-out plumbing. Okay, well, it looks like the plumber is well on his way for getting this job ready for inspection. All right, that's all I got for this time. But I'll be back with more videos. And yes, I was gonna show some other stuff. I think it's still light enough, and so I'll make some other videos. Look for them on my channel for how to build a house. See you next time.